I have a JD717A Ztrac. Symptom equals no juice going to starter. After letting sit for an hour, I can see our meter working with key in first position. When moved to start position, I hear a soft click from the relay area. Then power to our meter goes away. I have tried bypassing seat switch, parking brake switch, and have energized the PTO clutch, solid click.
Welcome to Just Answer Small Engines. Let me try to help you. Does battery voltage stay up when key is turned to start? Does not drop below 8 volts? You have 3 relays in the relay panel.one is starter, all are the same. Number them, then swap the relays to see if mower will start.
The voltage remains at 12.82 V in all 3 key positions. I swap relay number 1 with number 2. No change in symptoms referenced above.
There are 3 relays, the innermost one shows to be the starter. Did you swap it? Check for voltage to the switch terminal on the solenoid when key is turned to start. If it gets 12 volts, the solenoid may be bad.
I swapped outermost and middle relay.
So swap the other one.
Done. All relays in new positions.
No difference? What about voltage to the switch terminal on the starter solenoid when key is turned to start?
No difference. I'm sorry, I don't know where the switch terminal on the starter solenoid. I wanted to test the solenoid by jumping the battery to the solenoid terminals. All I found was the ground. I have already removed the blower cover to I have decent access.
The positive battery cable will go direct to the solenoid. On the same solenoid will be a single wire terminal, that would be the switch wire terminal. I assume the wire is on the terminal. If you jump the battery connection to the switch connection, the starter should engage and turn the engine. This would check the battery, cables in the solenoid and starter.
I will check tomorrow. Unable to work on this further tonight.
Okay, getting dark here too. Good evening.
I am back. The voltage when key moved into start position was 0.01, although it looked like it jumped to 8. Momentarily then to 0.01 the first attempt. On second attempt I did not see the spike.
You are saying voltage dropped to nothing? Bad battery or cables to the solenoid or ground.
Maybe I did not measure the right place. The positive battery pole has a lead that goes to a smallish round thing. It also has a lead from the negative pole. On the bottom there is a spade with a lead joining the main wiring harness. Without removing the connector completely, I measured the voltage between battery ground and this spaded terminal, thinking it is the switch wire terminal. The battery voltage is still 12.8 volts.
Just check the voltage across the battery, need to know if it shows a drain. And then the small single post on the solenoid.
The thing I think is the solenoid has 2 posts on top and 1 spade on bottom. Maybe I am not testing the right device.
That would be the solenoid. You want to test the spade on it. It has to get 12 volts from the key to engage the solenoid and close the connection for the battery cable to go to the starter motor. But does the battery voltage drop below 8 volts? I'm not sure your battery is good.
Battery 12,8, voltage at positive post on top of solenoid 12.15, voltage to spade on bottom 0V when key in start position. I'm still skeptical th if PTO is not engaged, would that cause same lack of voltage from solenoid?
If PTO switch was on, it would keep key switch from sending voltage to the starter solenoid.
Last week I inadvertently had PTO engaged. I shut off the mower, it exhibited the same behavior, no start. I had to turn power on, engage, and then disengage before it would start. The same technique and makes no difference. No, I know PTO was off when powered down.
Okay, if you jump the two cables at the solenoid, does the engine spin? It should. Or better yet, touch the cable terminal to the start terminal on the solenoid.
Not. No.
You can't do it, or you get nothing?
Nothing happens when I use jumper cables from battery to poles on solenoid.
If you just take an old screwdriver and go across the two large terminals on the solenoid, does starter engage?
No, nothing happens.
Then you don't have voltage needed at the solenoid, which means battery or cable problem. Or the starter is no good.
Wouldn't using jumper cables to bypass wiring from battery to solenoid posts have eliminated a cable issue? And battery still 12.8 V and less than 6 mho old. Any way to check starter?
Take jumper cables from good battery, direct to the starter, put negative on the engine block for ground, and touch the positive to the starter terminal on the starter, or at the same cable at the solenoid. Cable goes direct from solenoid to the starter motor.
I went to try. Realized that the engine in my 717A is not a John Deere. It is a Kohler Magnum 18. The starter is different than the JD. I could not find a positive terminal on the starter. There is only a ground. It looks like this one. http://www.ebay.com///2810624169997 equals 82 and CHN equals PS.
That is the positive terminal. Ground is done through the housing. The positive terminal should go direct back to the solenoid.
No impact. Still no movement in starter.
So you are saying the starter is bad. It should turn with positive to the terminal and negative the engine.
That would be my interpretation, but I am not the expert. First time testing a starter, but I guess you knew that.
If you did it right, the starter is no good. Take it off and have someone test it.
I took it to AutoZone. They could not test the specific starter due to limitations in their SW. They could make it spin. I brought it home and used my truck battery. I could get it to spin but not extend. I found it makes a lot of difference where place the jumper, negative. I then tried my original mower battery. Again, with proper placement of jumper I could get it to spin, but not extend.
I can understand the starter being bad, but you can't get it to turn with the key switch. Even if the Bendix does not kick out, it should turn the motor portion. But with it not extending, could the battery leads be reversed? Positive has to be plus terminal on battery, with red cable to the solenoid. Swapping batteries, you haven't gotten the cables backwards? If starter turns backwards, the Bendix will not kick out.
I retried, then greased the rod. It then would spin and extend. Reinstalled on mower. It now turns over. Unfortunately, it would not start. So now I have a new apparently unrelated problem. I don't know why no earlier test would get the starter to spin, so I probably still have an issue else related to that. I know the old mechanic wives' tale is to bang the starter with a hammer. I did not do that, but taking it off etc. accomplished the same. I need to be ready to buy a new starter. Thanks for your help.
If engine does not start, check spark plug for spark. If it has spark, try putting fuel into the cylinder, reinstall the spark plug and see if it will start. Thanks.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.